that alliance?
You know, that grouping, it is like uchukue mtu alikuwa number last Gatora Primary, uchukue mtu alikuwa number last Nairobi Primary, uchukue mtu alikuwa number last Thika Primary, uchukue mtu alikuwa number last Murang'a Primary, and bring them together and expect them to get a number one. So if you ask me, that is a union of losers. And it is not going to go anywhere. I mean, it's crazy. It's a union of losers. And anybody expecting any firework from those people must be must be dreaming. You know.
Why are you being sarcastic?
Tell you, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not being sarcastic. I mean, why would you be worried by a union of losers? That they have come together. I mean, I would be wondering if I took all the number ones from those primary schools and you put them in a room, you would expect them to combine their knowledge and come up with a new invention. But there is no way losers from all corners of Kenya can come together and actually come out with a winning formula. It is not logical. It is not it is not workable. You know, I find it outrageous that one. I mean, I'm glad even Deputy President has not seen the need to actually answer on that particular union. You deal with the big fish, you do not deal with the losers. In any case, you don't deal with people who are behind you. You deal with people who are probably at par with you or people you believe you are able to stop. So, if you ask me, the union, let me tell you, what is strange is that we are talking about a union of Mudavadi and Wetangula, people who come from the same region. They are supposed to be united. Basically, the common sense is that region should be speaking in the same voice. But somebody wants to preach to us that Wetangula has joined hands with Mudavadi. What is so unique about that? The Ruya Union. I mean, it's crazy that we want to talk about Mudavadi. I have seen, has it been put Mudavadi, Wetangula, Kalonzo? Who is the other person? Gideon Moi. I mean, look at Gideon Moi, a person who is not even popular in his own Baringo County where he represents. I have seen something going around on social media that you have a very state-of-the-art church somewhere inside Baringo, and then walk few meters after the church, houses that are falling down. Guys, that guy is not in touch with the reality of life. I mean, you have a mega church that is being flocked by paupers, people you cannot help. You can be able to put up a very big church there as a symbol of your wealth, as a symbol of who you are. But the people who are supposed to attend that churches cannot even get a day's meal. You know, so when you are talking about that union, what is union? Kalonzo Musyoka is a guy who only recently knew
You all want to be president?
No. He only recently, when Kibaki left power, that is the only recently alijua kujinunulia mafuta ya gari. It's true. No, tell me I'm lying, Bitok. Kalonzo joined the government in the 80s, immediately after school. He has been ferried by a driver ever since. He has had a cook paid by government, a cleaner paid by government, a house paid by government. That is a guy who recently got to know the cost of buying fuel. Because that is... And in fact, I actually apologize saying he knew the cost of fuel. I just remembered he's a former vice president. He still enjoys the state given vehicles, drivers, chase cars, and everything. So this is a guy who does not understand the issue of the common mwananchi. This is a guy who has been accused of grabbing government land and building personal structures on it. This is a guy who is associated with Meron. He's a guy you can never trust. Today he is saying this, tomorrow he will say that. Then you have Wetangula, who cannot even sustain his own party. He is being kicked out by Wamunyinyi. There you have Mudavadi, who is a dynasty. The father was a minister in the former government. These are guys who are out of reality with the issues of common mwananchi. And then you have Gideon Moi, who has enjoyed the State House for 24 years. And then you want to tell me that anybody should fear they are coming together? They shouldn't. Nobody should fear them. They are coming together should actually be inconsequential to the politics of this republic. You know, if you are telling me that William Ruto joined hand with Raila Odinga, that would make news. That would send shivers all over the republic. But not a union of Kalonzo, Mudavadi, Wetangula, and Gideon Moi. That is actually more of a TV show or something of the sort.
All right. We're going to pick calls. I'm going to take your calls. Tafadhali unaweza piga simu nambari ni 0779-800-010 or 779-800-010. You can call in 0779-800-010. Unaweza piga simu bunge la mwenyenchi kwa wazi au 779-800-010. Tukirudi mtongele mambo ya shule. Muchendu, there's some serious arrests in schools. Students are burning schools. Madometi zimechomwa, violence inaendelea shuleni, properties are being vandalized. Do you think it's time we phased out boarding schools? Because that's where we're having problems, as we expect.
Okay,
what's going on in schools actually?
I would not say that we phase out boarding schools, okay? But I think we need to address the system of examination in this republic, Bitok. Because every time we are just about to come up to do the national examinations, this issue come up. People burning schools. There is that people get scared. We have students who have not actually learned the entire syllabus the way they should. But it will still be funny to find that the setup of the examination they will do will still remain the same Bitok. Despite the challenges of COVID and not having gone to school, most likely you will find the Kenya National Examination Council will still give them the same exam they set 2 years ago or a year ago. So therefore, we need to address the system of examination in this country. Let us not compact. You know, when you give a form for 12 years of being in school, Bitok, are actually compressed into 20 days of examination, and the 12 years will be determined by an examination of 20 days. I think that's where we miss the mark, Bitok. And I hope the new system of education can address this, that the fate of our kids is not limited to just 20 days of an examination, that the fate of our kid can be, what is your technical ability? Can we, if we realize that your ability is in the technical way, can we actually channel our children to that direction? Those who want to study the practicals of life can do that. Those who want to further education in the other direction can do. Actually sanitizing those actions. But I'm saying this has been an occurrence, we need to change it.
All right. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Bwana Gerald.
Salama sana, habari yako?
Mzuri sana, ni Mwema Steve hapa.
Mwema Steve, jambo?
Yeah, mzuri sana.
Tuko na Arama pia kwa laini. Arama tulia hapa kwa laini itakuchukua. Sema niambie Steve.
Okay. Salimia Bwana Governor hapo. Sijui siku umepeleka wapi Lucia?
Lucia alikuwa mgonjwa bwana, lakini nyie muombei Lucia.
Nataka ulete Lucia manake. Lucia ndo anaweza control Muchendu. Manake Muchendu nikimsikiza is a bitter man. Is bitter with Uhuru. From I've listened to him several times. Muchendu is just bitter. I don't know, he was not appointed. I don't understand. And I think he's only going to vote for William Ruto because he just wants to punish Uhuru.
Okay.
So, kwa sababu mimi ningetaka Muchendu akuja elezee vijana kama sisi tunataka tumepata policy, tunataka president ambaye atatuletea mabadiliko tofauti. Kwa mfano, tunataka mambo ya pikipiki itaangaliwa haje. Kwa sababu hakuna policy watu wanaangalia watu wa pikipiki. pesa itatrickle aje kwa mwananchi wa chini. Lakini akikuja kashifu tu hapa Uhuru aseme Uhuru hajafanya hivi, first thing he should remember, Uhuru is not a president for Wakikuyu peke yake. He's a president for the whole Kenya. Umenipata? Ukiwa pwani, Uhuru akitembea pwani anakubalika. Ndio unaona anakuja pwani, unaona Joe anamkaribisha, anatembea huku, hakuna mtu anampigia makelele. Akienda Nyanza anakaribishwa huko. Lakini sasa akianza kusema ati Uhuru akienda Central haizi karibishwa, Uhuru sio president wa Wakikuyu peke yake. Uhuru ni president wa kila mwananchi wa hii jamhuri yetu. So Bwana Muchendu is a bitter man. Ache kuwa hiyo bitter sana. Tuelezee Bwana Ruto atatufanyia nini?
Haya.
Umenipata?
Amesikia.
Okay, sawa.
Asante sana Steve, kwa na siku njema. Nashukuru. Arama, I think Aranga yuko kwenye line. Arama, jambo. Kama Arama amepotea tena. Jambo Arama.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Today you left Muchendu to run a mock in the studio.
The other guy disappeared, so amebaki kwa kiwanja pekee. Kumbe ndio ndume ananguruma sasa kama simba.
Huyo Muchendu amekula maneno mpaka ameanza kuchanganyikiwa sasa. I don't know how to help this guy.
Arama, good morning.
Good morning, bwana. How are you, bwana Governor Muchendu? Sasa
niko salama.
Sasa wewe umeanza kuingilia watu mpaka unaambia wengine they are number 0.
No, but you know, it is like saying ulikuwa namba 2 na ulikuwa na 200 marks. You know, doesn't change a fact that you got a D.
Yeah, but the D cannot define me for the rest of my life. But anyway, let me just address one of the things that you guys were talking about, the issue of the schools and the kids.
Yes.
We need to recognize one thing. A couple of things that are affecting the kids nowadays, or in general. At least for most of us, when we went to school, you always had an outlet. Where you're angry or anything, unakimbia kiwanja, unacheza kidogo, that energy spent, and then you're done. The world is changing. There is so many challenges, and one of the challenges we have is mental illness and mental challenges. And also our own society itself. If us, as the people who are outside, not in school, do not respect authority, do not respect laws, how do you expect the same children or the same kids who are going to school, seeing what we do and get away with it, how do you expect them also to go back to school and obey the same laws you have been disobeying outside? So those are the things we need to address. Sometimes even listening to when people have a complaint, just listening will give you a big difference in their reaction. So it's a worrying trend that the only result people have is banning schools or banning property. That should not happen. But we should go and find out what is the root cause. I remember one time I saw at one time one of the girls' schools were complaining that they were being harassed. Some of them were rape allegation and everything. And the sad part for me was seeing some people commenting and saying, "Oh, these girls are pretending; they don't want to be in school." Some, yes, it's your opinion, but there's some things you really can't just dismiss offhandedly. It's a fact. Even when the kids were out, you saw trends where young girls were pregnant. Now, don't be surprised if you go and look at how they became pregnant and you find teachers being involved. You find some adults being involved who are either in school or who are supposed to be responsible. So how do you just dismiss that and say, oh, they were denied this or that. That's why they are reacting this way. We need to go and address this issue categorically and find out what happened and why did they behave that way, or why did they come to this option. And then that way you'll be able to address the issues in the right way. Maybe, as Bitok suggested, maybe it's time to do away with the boarding school. But then look at it on the other side. The parents are overwhelmed. They have to work from morning to evening to make ends meet. So parents don't have time to parent their kids. So the schools are their best alternative.
The goods go to school, Rama. So watoto wanaenda shule mchana.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So where does it stop the parents from working?
But now the problem, let's take like, for example, Nairobi. Unatoka kazi jioni, by the time unafika kwa nyumba ni saa 7, saa 8 ya usiku, sa traffic jam na kila kitu, and then you're supposed to wake up, the kids are supposed to be early to school. There is really no time.
But don't you think that's also a problem, Marama? Because it looks like then there's some serious absent parenting, like has been insinuated by some people.
Yeah.
That actually the problem that we have today is that the parents are not spending enough time with their children.
Absolutely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So do you think So are we giving excuses to be away from our children? Joel?
Yes.
So are we giving excuses to be away from our children?
Oh, the answer is, I would say partly yes. It's complicated. Yes, there are people who are giving excuses, but at the same time, there are people who are just trying to survive. And unfortunately, the children become the casualty of the environment or the survival mode that we are in. Because remember, even a child, you don't give them the attention they seek, they need, they are going to act out and do something so that you can focus on them and say, hey, what's wrong? But if you are taking that time to be with them and focus on them, then they don't have that time to act out.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, their acting out is causing a lot of damage right now. But at the end of the day, if you go back, really start looking at these issues, what is happening, there is more than just banning schools. Why are they banning schools? Is there something wrong at home? Or is there something wrong in school? Was these kids punished for something they didn't do, or they went to complain and nobody listened and then they were punished for complaining? There's so many aspects that needs to be addressed. You can't just simply say, oh, one of the things that I was amazed.
Hello? I think his network is not very stable. Anyway, Muchendu, I think we are to our tail end. I would want to take your tackle of the day.
Well, with the current happening in this republic, I want to address the issues of economy in our country. We are just about to take a loan of 1 trillion shillings, and the burden of paying that loan is for Wananchi, and therefore this government, as you take the loan to come and purportedly fill up the gaps in the current budget, can you think about the ease of doing business in this country? Can you think about expanding the youth network in business in this country? Because for us to be able to meet the loans that we have to pay, we would be required to actually generate more revenue. And to generate more revenue, we would require to actually create a wider net of taking that revenue. And that only means that we have to come up with economic policies that allows people to venture into businesses. And when people venture into businesses, they are able to pay their taxes. They are able to employ more people who becomes part of the network that is paying tax. So therefore, I want to see, even as we pick a new loan, I would want to request the government to do these things. 2 things. 1, we are able to renegotiate some of our maturing loans so that we do not find ourselves in an economic recession. we are able to negotiate with our partners so that we are given more time and better terms to pay our loans. And number two, we come up with economic policies that allows more people to venture into business, not actually extinct people in business like we have seen in downtown Nairobi, people who have been doing business for years going out. We have seen Bitok hotels serious hotels in this city being closed down because there is no business. So therefore, as the government picks more loans, because it is ultimately Bitok, we cannot survive without them. That is the sad fact, that we cannot survive without those loans. But we can strategically get those loans by addressing the economic processes of doing business in this country. Let us ease the way of doing businesses. Let us ease the way that youths can be able to do business. With that loan and the kind of debt we are in, we cannot afford to wait until we pass BBI to address the economic policies that allows young people to do business, that allows young innovators to actually bring their innovation into the market. So therefore, I would want to urge the people responsible with advising the president on economy to actually advise the president on economic policies that are going to help young people venture into businesses. Because until you actually induct these young people into doing business, we will not achieve the desired result, and that is to bring our economy at par with other developing economies. So the government ought to actually give us, not only tell us they will take loans, they must also tell us how they intend to be able to raise enough revenue so that we are able to pump more money into a consolidated fund and subsequently be able to repay our loans without having any pressure. So government, it is up to you to help young people of this republic actually venture into business and help you raise more revenue, and you will be able to pay these loans without ease. And we also want to see value for our loans, because we are picking loans and spending a lot of it in compensation. We, instead of actually spending that money on the actual project, we are picking loans and doing projects where senior people in government are going to receive compensation from this money. So we want to see value for our money. We don't want to see our money, when it comes, it is being used to compensate the who is who in government, who coincidentally owns properties where those projects needs to happen.
All right. So 61% of Avia tax revenues eaten up by debt payments. 61% of Avia revenues collected this year has been eaten up. This year's budget been eaten up by debt payments. Madeni zinalipwa 61% zimeenda. Imesemekana pia Muchendu uko bita, pole sana kidogo.
No, well, let me say this for avoidance of doubt. Yes, somebody has challenged me to come and give solutions. The only thing I can come do here, Bitok, is come and critique government, because I'm not part of the Uhuru government to be able to give solution. And the only way I can actually come is actually come here and do a criteria critique for government, so that if they are responsible enough, they will pick what we are complaining about and do something about it. Therefore, nobody can accuse me of not giving solutions. Until 2022, Bitok, when we have an opportunity to change government, and those of us who feel have solutions can offer ourselves to be part of government. The only thing left of us, it is to criticize this government against their promises.
All right. Someone also asked if you're running for any seat in Kiambu.
I would definitely run for a seat in 2022. But now is not the time to declare which. But I would definitely run for a certain seat within Kiambu County.
Oi, Daktari Ojuang anasema great show team. Asante sana Daktari, bwana umeingia wapi leo bwana? Daktari Ojuang. Asante sana, thank you so much for tuning in. Bruce Lee, he said, how can someone say Muchendu is bitter for stating facts as they are? Everyone should be bitter by the way Uhuru has mismanaged our economy. Caroline Kensa, Muchendu, just know you are a smart person and very informative, and I like listening to you. Ignore the negative vibes and have a good day. All right, now Kathleen Ken, I don't think Mushendu is bitter on anything. He's stating facts are there about Uhuru. I share his feelings too. And I think many from Mount Kenya will agree with him. Bas Njuguna says, spare the road and spoil the child. Kiboko should be snaked back and from class 1. A child grow up disciplined. This would time before matters become good. Before matters become good. Maybe 12 years to come. It's not to start now. Wanasema Kiboko irudishwe. Bas Njuguna, that union is meant to hoodwink their backyard, that they can be something great in this country, and therefore the electorate would rally behind and fully support, and that is how they cling to politics for a long time. All right. Evans Gedaya and some coalition of losers. They are only waiting for endorsements to survive instead of looking for votes. Neil Murray, Jamgea Rabitok Mushendu is a smart guy. Asante sana. Omoro Nyandiga amesema useless. Siasa sijui nini useless. Sijaelewa. Ni network yake, ni simu yake, ni wapi, ni nini ameona iko useless. Beyond Bill and some Kenyans, especially we business community, are already fed up with this government, which instead of president focusing on fixing our country, problems and big four, is focusing on fighting his deputy. Neil Chips Munasamba Ruta is giving them sleepless nights. Evans Kedaya, the biggest problem in Mount Kenya is that watu hawana kitu. Their business have been closed, auctioned, or are struggling. The agriculture is also struggling. It's about the economy of the region. That is what most people don't think BBI is a priority. That's the bottom line. The rest are stories of giant. Mambo ya giant. Alright. Henry Kimene sama Superwave Courier Parcel delivery Nairobi Eldoret Kisumu. Asante sana watu wa Superwave Delivery Courier. Antiago Ombuya anasema, do you have any proof or is it just propaganda? Mwanda Abraham, does the president need to go to temp Ruto in central Kenya or go there to temp corruption, unemployment and tribalism? Kenya is doomed. Central Kenya is doomed. Haya basi. Asante sana. We also had a poll that we had conducted. I want to read out the poll results. Kuna poll tulikuwa tumeweka hapa ya BBI. Let me read out the poll results for you. Alikuwa muuliza kama una support BBI. We had a poll here. You're supporting BBI. What's a poll? Wanasema 14% wanasema yes, 14% wana support BBI, 86% wanasema no. I had asked for Ombui. This poll was specifically for Ombui because he asked me for data. So this is what is happening. This is what has been given. 86% wanasema no to BBI and 14% say yes to BBI. Sasa Ombui hiyo ndio data tumeweza kuiona. That is what it is. That is happening. It is what it is. My numbers don't lie. Julian Nyokame, whatever you are seeing in school is a result of poor parenting. Asante sana. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for this morning's edition of the Tackle. Tomorrow we have the diaspora edition. Kiongozwa na kina Arama tafadhali anza kupanga watu wa diaspora. Kesho tuanze kuzungumzia watu wa wale diaspora ambao kama wako ngamba. The government has said you're going to get incentives for money to do university. I hope you're going to have the discussion tomorrow and we see what happens. On Friday, kama kawaida, sheria wiki. Monday inakuja, alafu Tuesday pale tutakuwa na former governor Kiambu County, William Kabogo. On Tuesday atakuwa na yeye atuambie ni lipi inaendelea pale Central Kenya. Gabando hizo kama mingine after Sagana, atuambie mambo ya Sagana na mambo ya mlima wa kati ama sijui ni eneo la kati. Kenya. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's always a pleasure to have you. Please keep sharing the broadcast even after we leave. Endelea kushare that broadcast also on YouTube. Look for Gerald Bitok. Uweze kuona zile interviews ambazo tumeweza kufanya, and the cuts on Twitter. Also look for Gerald Bitok or #TheTackle. Utaweza kutupata pale. Please follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube, and keep sharing our content. Ukienda pale YouTube tafadhali, don't skip ads. Ukifika pale YouTube angalia, sekunde kidogo tu malizana na ads, alafu you pick up with the interviews. It's always a pleasure to have you. Up to see you again tomorrow. This is The Tackle, and The Tackle ends now. Love you and bye-bye. Take care.